All right. Shalom. First off, I'm going to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. That's all praises to the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ. The two names in the Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father and Yahweh Shai for His beloved Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach and rule well. And peace and mercy to hopeful elect preaching His word and believing in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. I'm gonna get right into the lesson. It's two articles. It says the death of America of the American Empire will come from suicide. Max Kaiser. It says the host of RT's Kaiser report says that the U.S. Treasury market is now so large that that the only way to keep it under control is for the Federal Reserves to intervene. Max Kaiser says that the market for Treasury bonds, the thing that keeps America afloat, is again cut dramatically because nobody else wants American Treasury bonds. And then the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank got in the business of buying its own U.S. Treasury bonds and monetizing the debt. So it's the same thing that goes on with the stock market. A company will sit here and put a bunch of its shares on sale, and then buy them back to make the company look like it's really doing well. And that's exactly what's happening on a national level with currencies. It says Max explains that they hope that one day they'll be able to start diminishing their balance sheets. It says now they are at the point where they have no option but to keep selling worthless U.S. government treasury bonds, and then, of course, having to print more and more fiat money, worthless paper money, in this vicious cycle of self-destruction. Empires really never die from without. They always die from suicide, and I think that's pretty much the U.S. Treasury market in the U.S. Now, peep this other article. It says, Democratic election sweep may be good for stock markets in the short run, but the dollar is going to be killed. Is going to get killed. Peter Schiff. It says as markets begin to handicap the U.S. presidential rates, it seems to be viewing a Biden win as a positive for the stock market, which doesn't really make sense according to the economist Peter Schiff. Donald Trump being president was bullish for the stock because of what Trump was doing. If Biden was threatening to undo all that and to increase taxes and to have more regulation, you would think that Wall Street would think that's a negative. It goes on to say Skiff talked about Bank of America's best case scenario for the stock market, which is the Democratic Party clean sweep. With this outcome, there certainly would be a corporate tax increase, as well as more regulatory red tape with Democrats in complete control. He said none of that would be good for the economy, but the reason B of A likes the outcome is that it would likely mean the most fiscal stimulus Skiff believes. So this is what's happening, man. This is what happened. So let me I'm gonna start off with this. Give me a second. This is Habakkuk 2 and 5. It says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is his death and cannot be satisfied. And that proud man that doesn't keep at home is the U.S., America, the Edomite, so-called white man. He goes through every nation in any country, rape, robbing, and pillaging. The French did it. The Spaniards did it. The Americans did it. You know, all these Edomite empires had the same go about conquer, kill, take over. This is their whole mindset. They kill, they steal, they pillage, and they're not satisfied. Every one of those Edomite empires fell because they stretched their militaries thin, because they were always on the come up. You know, it says, but gathered unto him all nations, and heaped unto him all people. And every one of those nations did the same thing. Tried to heap unto them everybody. But America is the chief one in that, man. It says, everybody is in America. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against them, and a taunting proverb against them, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, meaning stealing, robbing. You have something called corporate takeovers in countries, to where you had I believe it was West African country raised the minimum wage, and all these corporate companies came in and tried to sue the government for raising the minimum wage in their own country. It says, increases that which is not his. It says, how long? And to him that laded himself with thick clay. If you go into that word thick clay, that phrase thick clay means ibadia, means debt. And America's done that, man. So what? Now they're printing out notes. The Federal Reserve is buying them back, making the stock of the U.S. bonds look good, but really nobody's buying them. It says, shall not all these rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. Because this is going to lead to this nation being spoiled. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, the remnant of all the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and for the violence of the land of the city, and all that dwell therein. So all these nations, man, they're dumping $1, and that's a way to kill America right there. This is Isaiah 13:17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. And it says, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. You see, the Medes are going into them Persians and the Medes, the Medo-Persian Empire, going into them Iranians, basically. And they don't give a hell about U.S. debt, man. They're not even worried about sitting there buying stock bonds to try to hedge them up against these sanctions. They're not doing it. It says, their bows also shall dash the young men in pieces, and they shall have no pity upon the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And this is what the world is getting ready to do to America, man. They're going to come in, and they're not regarding the silver and gold, man. This is James 5. I'll start at 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries. So let me get to do this real quick. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl. For your misery shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted. Your garments are moth-eaten. So the riches going into their monetary system is completely corrupted, man. You know, all these buyback schemes to make yourself look good. That's an all corruptible scheme, man. And here it is. You have whole financial systems like Bank of America thinking that it'd be good for one guy to get in versus the other, because at least one guy will give them hella bailouts. It says, verse 3, it says, your gold and your silver is cankered, meaning corroded. You know, it's lost its value, just like in the Roman Empire. They did a thing called coin clipping, where it's basically mixing the precious metals with scrap metal until the point where that currency really wasn't worth anything. It says, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. The rust, the corrosion, of them shall be witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Meaning it's gonna burn this place up the quickest, man. This debt, the bubble that's gonna pop is gonna put this place down the quickest. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. And this is mostly talking about Jake, but even these other nations, man. Here it is. They're not getting paid a fair wage for what they're sitting there trading back and forth with you. It says, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of Yahweh of Sabaoth. You see? So this is why you got people super mad, man, throughout the whole world, man, because they're not getting money, man. You had a whole generation rise up in China because here it is, their parents, and so on had land and everything to live on, but you have a lot of these people living in these coffin apartments. You ain't got enough room to turn to the left and to the right. It says, this is Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, the thing that had been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun. Meaning, the Lord is going to make those things that happened in the past happen again. This is Genesis 47:15. It says, and when the money failed in the land of Egypt, and it's going to happen again in America, the money's going to fail in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. It says, and Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fell. So I'm going to jump down to verse 18. It says, when the year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, what, we will not hide it from my Lord. How that our money is spent, my Lord had also our herds of cattle. There is none aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. And this is going to be the same thing that happens in this time. Verse 19, wherefore shall we die before thine eyes? And this is what a lot of people are going to do. When this money fails, the price of food is going to skyrocket, man. Let me get this one. This is 2 Kings 6:25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and a fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. Meaning, you know that the money fell there. You know that a famine kicked in. And an ass's head, something that wasn't supposed to be food, was sold for 80 pieces of silver. That's 80 pieces of silver. And a fourth part, meaning a quarter of a mound of dove's dung, was sold for 5 pieces of silver. This is that's hyperinflation right there. So back in Genesis 25 and 19, it says, wherefore shall we die before thine eyes? Behold, we in our land buy us and our land for bread, and we in our land will serve this, will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. You see, a lot of people are going to sell out when this money crashes, man. And this is why the scriptures tell you, Ecclesiastes 12:1, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the moon or while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after rain. So you're supposed to remember your creator before the stuff comes. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and this is what you're seeing. All these big financial investors and correspondents sitting there saying the same thing. America's finished. And the day when the keepers of the house are those rich men, shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves. It says, in the grinder cease because they are few, meaning the work stops because there's little work. And those that look out at the windows be darkened. You see, those that look out trying to find some work. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the street. It says, when the sounding and the grinding of the low is low, meaning the work is low. And it says, he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low, meaning there's going to be no joy here, man. Why? Because everybody's going to be ass out, especially these celebrities, man. So this is something to keep in mind, man. This place is gonna crash, no matter what they say. So you need to start believing and trusting in the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So Lord willing, this is edifying. Just letting brothers see what's happening in the market. So, hey, shalom.